Welcome to episode 9 of Communication Error, a gaming debate podcast where we may not always agree, but if we listen to what one another has to say, maybe we'll be able to fix our communication error. I'm one of your hosts, Cheesy, and the man that did not go to too many games this week because he has too many games, John Ebo. How are you doing?
What's up? I'm doing good. I am a little sad that I didn't go to too many games, but I went a couple of years ago, and it's just overwhelming. There's too many people, but I'm hoping next year I will sign up to be a guest, like a guest spot.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, because I think I have the following that they'll be like, okay, and I'm also local, like I'm 20 minutes away from the thing, so we'll see. But yeah, I did see some people were hanging out or they were there, and we're kind of, yeah, social media made me jealous, so that kind of leads into what we're talking about.
Yeah. Have you gone to any conventions or like PAX or anything like that?
We literally talked about a convention like 2 or 3 weeks ago. I went to the one with Hayden Christensen and
yeah. But I'm saying like within the gaming, like.
Well, I went to too many games like 2 or 3 years ago.
Oh, okay. Did you say that already? And I
already said that. Yeah, you're just not listening. Oh my goodness. Cheesy has his set points, and then he blocks me out.
Oh, I just block you out all the time. It doesn't have to do with points.
Yeah, but yeah, I went to too many games. I think that was a couple of years ago. I'm pretty sure it might have been 2020 because we were wearing masks. It was later in the year though. It wasn't in June. It was in October.
Oh, okay.
And I think I talked to, I can't remember his name now. 8-Bit Eric, I think. He's on
Okay.
I think he's on
Sounds
YouTube.
familiar.
He does a lot of I actually met him through TikTok, and I was like, "Do you know who I am?" And he did. So that was pretty cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Was he just saying that he knew who you were? Or
No.
he
Like we've
knew?
actually interacted like on
okay.
TikTok, and I mean I don't really anymore, but that was still pretty cool. And now that I am growing a following more, I would think that if I would go, because it's not like one of the biggest conventions, but I think maybe more people would know who I am there if I went.
Yeah. Yeah, if you were there and you had like a guest panel and you were speaking and talking, people would know like that is John Ebo's voice up there.
Yeah,
Just
and maybe we'll
trolling
have a communication air panel. You
Hey.
never know.
That would be
You
pretty
never know.
cool. Well, Johnny, where can people find you?
I'm Johnny Bo everywhere. Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and the Nintendo Powercast. I think that's it.
I think so. Maybe like are you starting to OnlyFans?
No, not yet.
No. Okay. You can find me on TikTok, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, YouTube, Nintendo Powercast as well, CheezyC64, CheezyC64. And if you would like to join us on any of the Communication Error socials, it's Com Error Podcast, and your comments might end up on next week's show.
Yeah, we also have a Discord. There's a link in the show notes, and I'm pretty sure on YouTube it's clickable links now. So that's exciting.
We did it somehow.
We did it. They have noticed us, and we are valid. However, we're still not at 100 subscribers. We're at 88. We're 12
Very
away.
close.
So if you're out there and you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, you will make me happy, because you're not a valid YouTube channel until 100 subs.
Don't say that for people that are just starting. But speaking of YouTube and TikTok and Twitter and all of the nonsense, what are we talking about?
We're talking about social media and gaming. What effect social media has had, good and the bad, on the gaming space.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting conversation, I think, because just as we are both content creators, we are around social media all the time and gaming news, and that is good and bad. So I'm very interested to see where this conversation goes and if there is one that's better than the other.
Did you just hear a loud thunder?
I did. I thought maybe that was you messing with your mic or something. No. That was really loud.
Yeah. So we got some storms going on. I might cut out at some point. We'll find out. But yeah, that was loud. And of course, like, it started as soon as we started recording. So I apologize. Nice. I apologize for any thunder you may hear in the background, any lightning that you won't see, but you know, my
well, I mean, do you have windows down there?
I mean, there's a little tiny window.
If we saw lightning through that thing, you might just want to like run or bolt it to a different room.
Run and cover.
Yeah.
But no, I'm excited to talk about this because, I mean, we are on social media all the time, and there are good things and there are bad things. So we'll see where it sways.
Is there a spot that you want to talk about first with social media and gaming? Like, do we want to talk about the pros or the cons first?
Well, I was just trying to think, like, before social media was a thing, right?
Yeah.
Before, I guess Facebook would have been the first one.
For like
for social media, for just like a social media platform, like that became huge. I don't know if it was that big in the gaming space. I do remember there being those Facebook games, like farming. What is it? Farmville. And there was a mobster one.
Mafia Wars.
Okay, Mafia Wars. Yeah, we used to play that a lot in college. Like, I'm old enough to remember that you needed a college email address to be able to sign up for Facebook. Before that, we had to use MySpace, and MySpace was. Did you ever have MySpace, or was that?
Yeah. No, okay. I had a MySpace.
MySpace was awesome. You got to code it to your liking. You got to put a song on your webpage. I always had the emo songs. You know.
Yeah.
It was I guess that was the initial social media, not really initial internet, because we've had internet for I don't even know when that came in, like the mid 90s. Sure.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I do remember like having AOL Instant Messenger, and
then we had Y2K.
Yeah. No, AOL Instant Messenger was like, I was probably a teenager because I would always you could put up an away message, and, you know, the cool thing was to put up an away message with song lyrics. And I would always put emo lyrics up, you know.
They were very subtle lyrics. I was like, what is this? What's this person going through right now?
But I mean, those are the early days of social media. I didn't get into social media, like into the gaming sphere of social media, until Twitter. I think I've been on Twitter for, say, over 10 years.
Yeah, I don't know. It says if you go to your profile page.
Oh, does it?
So like if I go to mine, I've been on there since 2009.
Okay, I've been on it.
I mean, like
2013. So yeah, it's been 10 years. It'll be 10 years this year.
Yeah, imagine if I was like as serious about social media as I am now back in like 2009, where I know
you'd be famous.
It'd be crazy.
Regret.
Shoot. Yeah.
No,
I mean, I had social media, but that was just like for personal pages and like Facebook and Instagram and all of that. And then I've talked about this on Nintendo Powercast, I think. I didn't really start using social media for gaming until the Switch came out, because I saw how easy it was to screenshot your game, and I was like, oh, and I can post this to Facebook? Like, I'll post this to Facebook, I'll save it, and then I'll post it to Instagram. And I really thought that I was like onto something new. Turns out people have been doing this for years. just sharing their collection and their journey on their games. And
yeah, but even back then, that was still 6 years ago, and I don't think it was as prominent as it is now.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I do like to look at GameXplain because I think that they probably were, at least for me, the first within like the YouTube space that kind of really like skyrocketed just off of talking about Nintendo. And they were like talking about New Leaf, and somebody picked up one of their videos on New Leaf, and then from the Wii U, they were making videos, and now the Switch, obviously, they did really well. And like I said, I don't know if they were like the first to like really get their name out there, but I think they were. I mean, they're everywhere, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I had a YouTube channel before the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't like I did try to. The videos, they're still up, they're still posted. You should go back. People should go back and watch them because they're super cringe. But I would do I got my name from Amiibo, and like I started the channel right.
Wait, hold on. Yeah. You got your name from Amiibo? Is that where that came from?
And I started the Johnnybo channel back in like 2014, whenever the Amiibo came out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, actually, I think it was like Johnny Ebbs before, and I was doing videos on like my first ever video on YouTube is Tembo the Badass Elephant.
Mm-hmm.
And it's horrible. It's a let's play.
I've watched it. It's fun.
It's fun to go back and like see how far I come, but it was like directly from a PlayStation 4. I had to use like a headphone mic. Like it was not there was no editing. The intro, there was like dead air in the intro. There was nothing going on. It was not a pretty sight. And it is fun to go back and check, but yeah, I think that was the first ever, and that was probably back in 2014. So I've had this channel for a long time, and then I really didn't see much traction until TikTok came out, and that was until I started posting on TikTok, which was back in 2020.
Yeah, so I guess we could say that with like the pro of social media is that, like, for instance, that's how you and I met, was through TikTok. And I think that was during the Animal Crossing days, or before Animal Crossing was even out. It was just like the hype around Animal Crossing.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember I thought it was like a big deal when I was posting one video a day relating to Animal Crossing. Like, that was my whole thing. I'm like, I'm going to make one video a day. And now you kind of have to.
Oh, yeah.
You have to make multiple videos a day.
Yeah, I was going to say even more than that, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah,
no, I met you through TikTok. I met Josh and 64 Josh through TikTok. Crawler I met through the Nintendo Powercast. So
yeah,
like social media is a big pro. Is it's social, right? Like it brings a lot of people together. And even before I was making videos, like I was on Twitter a lot. I made a lot of connections through Twitter back in the day, just talking about Nintendo, because I don't have really any friends. Period. Definitely none. Like I don't really talk to any friends from college or anything. We're all scattered, and we don't really catch up anymore. So the internet and social media was an outlet for finding people with similar interests and just getting it, like connecting in that way.
Yeah. Yeah. And for me, like when I first started trying to post for gaming and Nintendo, it was really on Instagram where I was like going pretty hard on that. And I've met some amazing people through Instagram, and it bums me out that I don't use it as much as I used to, or like the platform itself has changed a lot to where it kind of annoys me. But I love the people that I've met over there. Some of them I do have like a Twitter account, and so I keep in contact with them that way. but it feels nice, especially with, and I know that this is a gaming podcast, but just like with Nintendo in general and how Nintendo wasn't cool. And you had a Nintendo Wii.
Is it cool? Is Nintendo cool
nowadays? I mean,
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. I get a lot of interesting names thrown my way.
Okay, fine. Maybe Nintendo still isn't cool, but it was cool to find like the people that were on your side or understood like where you were coming from.
Yeah, I think I talked about it before. Where in college I would play Call of Duty all the time. So all those people, they don't play Nintendo games. So I didn't really have anybody in common for Nintendo until I went on to Twitter and on to TikTok and YouTube and stuff like that. So it is good for finding your finding like your space.
Tribe.
Yeah, your tribe. There you go. There you go. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. And also just when it comes to podcasts or YouTube videos or TikToks or whatever, like if people are just like, I know for Twitter, people are just like posting that everywhere. And so that allows you to go and listen to their content or watch their content just in the gaming space and kind of support each other. So it is nice. And I appreciate that we were able to find those people. Now, are there more cons than there are pros?
I honestly, I was coming into this thinking that
we lost you at the beginning. You were like muted.
Oh, was I? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're good. You're good. Communication error.
Communication error. The thunder. That's the problem. But like when I was thinking about this, I'm like, there are cons to social media, but I think there still are more pros than cons, because we know all of the negativity that comes along with the space, but you can kind of filter that out. Like you don't need to go down that path if you don't want to.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't need to go down the path of where everybody agrees with you either.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Especially with how the algorithms are today. They're so smart that they know that if you're centered around something that is like a good group of people or a conversation that's happening, it's probably going to push more of that content to you. And yes, negativity will drive engagement on the internet. We all know that. But I personally believe if you're looking for good, you'll find good. If you're looking for bad, you'll find bad. So it all depends on how you use social media and the spaces that you're wanting to get into or communicate with.
Yeah, I mean, specifically with gaming and social media, I think it's a great way to be introduced to new experiences. Because before the internet, before Twitter, I don't even remember how I found out about games. Like my parents bought me games growing up. I didn't have a say in them. I didn't know what they got me Porky Pig's Nightmare Adventure or something.
Whoa, wait, and what? Like, what is this?
It's hold on. I have it.
It's like a Looney Tune horror game. I don't know. He's looking for the game.
I got it. He said,
"Okay, what is it?"
It's. Can you see that?
Yeah.
It's Porky Pig's Haunted Holiday.
Okay.
It's on the Super Nintendo.
Okay. Was it?
I used to love that game. I used to love the heck out of it. You
explained it. Okay.
But yeah, it's kind of like a Halloween themed Looney Tunes game, like with Porky Pig. I also have one that's called Dr. Frankenstein. I guess my family thought I was into Halloween-ish stuff because they would buy me these Halloween type games.
Yeah.
But
well,
other
they were
than
listening
that,
to your MySpace songs, and
yeah,
they're like, oh,
he's in a dark spot. But other than that, I don't know how we found out about games. Maybe Nintendo Power. I definitely had Nintendo Power growing up.
I've got Nintendo Power. I've got some magazines that are sitting down there. I would say also commercials during like Nickelodeon and Disney and all that.
But I don't have some of the major massive games that people say that you should have or you should have played on the Super Nintendo. Like I don't have a Link to the Past or Super Metroid. I don't have those games. And I didn't know about those games until social media, until people told me that I should play those games because they're awesome.
Yeah, there's a lot of games that I feel like I still need to play.
Super Mario Bros. 3.
That is one on the list that I need to play. But I was over here like playing kind of. I did have like a Monsters Inc. dodgeball game that I thought was kind of fun. Cars is actually a pretty good game because it's just racing around. These on?
Is that on Wii?
It was GameCube.
Oh, okay.
You were just
Cars
racing
is that
around.
Old?
Cars is what, 2005, I think.
Wow.
Yeah,
I feel old on that one.
But then I would also play a lot of multiplayer games like Smash and Mario Kart and Mario Party. Not a lot of single player games that people have played. Like my first 3D adventure wasn't Mario 64. It was Banjo-Kazooie.
Yeah, I didn't even have it. I didn't have an N64. The only way I was exposed to N64 games was going over to my friend's house, and we would play a ton of GoldenEye.
Okay, yeah.
And like we would take turns on Super Mario 64, and I don't remember the other games. Those are the only two that I can remember. So I don't. Oh, Mario Kart. Played a lot of Mario Kart because I remember Block Fort. That's a blast.
Did you play Smash?
We played Smash on the GameCube.
Okay, so Melee.
So we played Smash Melee. Yeah, that was the really only way I could think. Maybe, yeah, just word of mouth with your friends. Like I think Animal Crossing was the same way. I didn't really know about it, and then my friends were like, "Oh, you should get it." And then we like come over to my house and put your memory card in.
Yeah. I kind of remember that moment too, because I had a friend that was really into Animal Crossing Wild World, and they were saying how excited they were for the game. And I always looked at that game where I was like, I don't think that's for me. Like, I don't really see the appeal of it. And then
doing chores for a living?
What was that?
Doing chores? That's not fun.
Yeah. And then they described it. And I was like, all right, maybe I'll check it out. And again, I don't know if I paid for that or if it was like a gift or, how did we get games? I guess it was just like birthdays and holidays.
Yeah, birthdays, holidays. Maybe I had a job. I worked at a convenience store. Wonder if I used that money. I don't remember.
Yeah. I don't know. But then, okay, so when you started getting your own games, you started buying games, now social media is involved. You probably have a lot of influence by what people are saying online, right? About the game and if that gets you to buy it, or because the whole reason that this conversation is even being brought up is during our finishing games versus having a backlog. We did kind of start to notice that there was a pattern with social media, and you said specifically that you like to jump from game to game just depending on what people are talking about and being in that conversation.
Yeah. No, it happened just this past week, or I think last week. Final Fantasy 16 came out, or was there was like a demo that came out like 2 weeks ago maybe, and everybody was talking about how this demo was like the greatest thing since sliced bread. And I'm like, all right, I'll try the demo. I tried the demo. I wasn't impressed with it. And I should have known, like, this isn't my type of game. It's a very cutscene heavy game.
Story, narrative, God forbid John Evo has to listen to
the story
anything.
sucks, all right? The story is so dumb in that game.
There's 16 of them.
No, in Final Fantasy 16 specifically, like it's so basic, and I don't understand what people like about it. I don't get it. So I'm a little annoyed. I played I played over the weekend, and I played like 5-6 hours. I'm like, I'm gonna give it more of a shot. People are saying it's the best Final Fantasy. It's phenomenal, and I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't know what they're like. The combat is fun. I'll give it to it, but it's not anything that different than what I've played before. And oh my god, there's cutscenes every 2 steps. Like, I'm okay with like doing an hour of gameplay, like of actually gameplay of like, you know, combat, because the combat is fun, and then having, you know, a cutscene. But no, this is you fight 2 enemies, cutscene. Walk 5 steps, cutscene. Walk another 5 steps, cutscene. Apparently, there's 11 hours of cutscenes in this game.
Oh my god, no way, really?
Yeah, 11 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, and people are saying this is a phenomenal game. I don't get it. I don't get it. So that's what people have been saying online, is that it's a good game. Yeah.
There hasn't been any other kind of discourse around it.
Well, I mean, there is some discourse about it, and it's more so that it's departed from traditional Final Fantasy games, because it's not turn-based combat, it's action. But I'm not even like, that's fine with me. I don't care about the combat. I just want it to be, all right, I will give you a little taste. I'll give you a taste of some side quests. All right.
Okay.
The first like hub area you go to, there's a bar, and you have to do like work for this bar to get some money. You deliver 3 bowls of soup.
At a bar?
At a bar. That's all you do. You deliver 3 bowls of soup. And then there's another one in that same area. And it's like, you have to get like a piece of wood. So you talk to one guy that's like at one end of the hub, and then you have to go like 10 feet to go get this wood, and you have to keep going back. Like, you have to go back and forth. It's like, it's 2023. Why do we have these stupid quests in these games anymore?
Yeah, I get so annoyed with Pokemon games when they do that, because there's not like really cutscenes, but it will be like, go talk to the professor. He has something to say to you. And so you go talk to the professor, and then the professor wants you to go on a quest to like go talk to somebody else or get a Pokemon. And then it's like, great, you did that. Now go back to the professor. And it's like, oh, I was just there. Like, can you just tell me everything that you need to tell me in that exact moment?
Yeah.
Or send it in a text. You know, can I just get a text?
This could have been an email.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but that is one instance where I do think I do feel like I'm part of the outsiders on the end that doesn't really enjoy the game. But I was influenced by everybody saying how great it is, and also like this is a con for social media. There's no in between, right? It's either you have to completely love something and it's right, you're ride or die, like you can't criticize it whatsoever, or you have to completely hate it, where there's nothing that you like about it.
Yeah, it's just, internet discourse is so predictable these days, and like what people want to talk about or what they're complaining about. And I agree with you. Like, why can't there just be a middle, or just you talking about the things that you like and things that you dislike about it? But that's not going to help drive engagement. If you're a content creator, right? Like, that is important. You're trying to get your name out there. You're trying to get your word out there, even about how you feel about the game. But if it's like an in between, people might agree with you, but it's not going to help you get further down the road, right?
Yeah. And I mean, I'm part of the problem.
Yes, you are. In
I have a
every
big
possible way.
I'm a big troll, and I do things to drive engagement because, it gets more views, which in turn will hopefully get me more followers. So I am part of the problem, but I feel like I'm not toxic about it. And I think a lot of people can be toxic about either you could be, just negatively toxic, but you could also have toxic positivity where
Sure.
it's not helpful to always be positive, and it's not helpful to always be negative either.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I think social media, it definitely sways my purchasing.
Right.
So yeah, if I want to, like, I bought Final Fantasy because I wanted to see what everybody was talking about. I bought Diablo because I wanted to see what everybody's talking about.
Right. Well, it's also just like review scores in general across the board, not even just gaming, just everything. There's a review score for everything. And it's a subjective opinion, but it does help when you're online and you see that number and you're like, oh, it's a 93 or something. That's got to be a good game. And then you may see one that's like a 70, which that will like steer people away from it. And I don't know. I mean, that's probably still a pretty fun game. But even though we had people that were like reviewing movies and games and books before, now everybody has a say. And people that follow their favorite content creator, they're going to look up and see what their opinion is on the game, and that's going to push sales. So you have to think about how developers nowadays have to think about social media and how they can use it to their benefit.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people, myself included, we get like copies of games or products because the developers want to use our influence to sell the game.
Right.
And I mean, it could come off as disingenuous if you get something for free or you get paid to do something and you give it a positive review. Or there's the negative, like Kotaku was super negative about Tears of the Kingdom because they got snubbed by Nintendo.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So it's hard to,
because of Metroid Dread.
Oh, they showed how to emulate Metroid.
Yeah.
How to steal it, how to pirate it. So it's very hard to tell what's genuine and what's not genuine on the internet.
Sure.
And review scores are not any better. Even like, I feel like a 70, it's a 7 out of 10. It's not terrible. But I feel like most games get 7 out of 10s or higher.
And I think I just
including Skyward Sword got a 10 out of 10.
Skyward Sword has a 10 out of 10?
Yeah, from IGN.
Huh.
And that should be a 0 out of 10. That game's trash.
Okay, we don't have to go down that path again. For Switch, it did? It got a 10 out of 10?
No, for I don't know what it got for Switch, but I know back
for Wii.
When it came out on the Wii, IGN gave it a 10.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah, and it's also like there is such an uproar about certain scores. Like Pokemon, one of the Pokemon games got a 7.8. The too much water incident.
That was Spider-Man.
No, it was Pokemon.
I thought Spider-Man had too much water.
Pokemon was definitely one that had too much water.
Oh, okay.
And then like Mario Kart Double Dash, IGN gave it like a 7.8, and everybody got mad at them for that.
Yeah. And I don't know, that's a conversation in itself, is just reviewers, and they're just doing their job. Like it's a subjective opinion. It doesn't mean that is actual fact, right? And people can get passionate about their favorite game and how it gets scored, or maybe it's a game that they do. But
what it doesn't. Why does it matter? Like if
exactly.
if a game scores a 10 out of 10, like that doesn't affect you in any way,
right?
Like like maybe just feel validated. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, I like this game and I was right about it.
Right.
Because like that's what's weird. I mean, that's another big issue with social media is the fanboyism with the review scores. Like, Tears of the Kingdom has, highest rated game on Metacritic or something critic. And whenever like Final Fantasy has an 88 on Metacritic, so everybody's saying that it's like worse than like it's so much worse than Tears of the Kingdom. And everybody just feels validated that like their platform is better than this other platform. And it's like, why can't they both exist?
Right. Yeah.
Like we'll see it with Starfield. Starfield's coming out in 3 months, and those Xbox, if it reviews really well, like Xbox fanboys are gonna come out of the woodworks. If it doesn't review well, Sony fanboys are gonna come out of the woodworks. Like
fan people.
Yeah, sorry. I agree. but no, like, the fan peopleism.
Yeah.
That I try. Well, I mean, I am a Nintendo fanboy. It's not like a debate, but I feel like I'm not toxic about it. Like I'm not saying these games suck just because they're not on Switch or just because they're on PlayStation.
Sure.
And you're an idiot for playing them and liking them. Like I don't like Final Fantasy. That's a PlayStation 5 exclusive. But I'm not going to call people an idiot for liking it. I just don't get it.
You just don't like it because it's not Nintendo. We get it. We understand.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like I cut you off like 4 times there.
No, you're good. I'm actually listening to what you have to say because I think it's good. But when you stop saying something good, I'll just stop listening. What I've seen, I think, just within the past couple weeks, with Summer Game Fest and the Direct and just people talking online, it seems like they're not really in the gaming mood right now, or they say like, yeah, I'm just not really into games right now. And
as we say, only play shooter games.
Maybe that's what it is. Or maybe it's just that a lot of games today kind of are looking the same, and that's just because we just have improved so much from pixelated games to what look like cinematic masterpieces. Is social media part of the problem because everyone has something to say about something, or is it our own personal burnout?
I think we're burned out. I think people are just burned out, right? They're burned out for trying to keep up with the zeitgeist. More people probably talk about games than they play games, and I'm probably one of the culprits. Like I don't just sit down and play a game anymore. Like I'm always trying to think of content. Or I'm trying
you said that last week, and it made me sad, honestly. That
I know.
Like you can't
and a lot of the
enjoy
comments,
a game anymore.
A lot of the comments are like, it makes you don't make me want to create content.
Yeah,
but it's I don't know. Hopefully people don't always feel that way, but I just can't. I don't know. Focus on one thing for that long, and I'm hoping for like Super Mario Bros. Wonder. I will make content on it. But I've been waiting so long for a Super Mario Bros. Game that I'm hoping I could just enjoy the 5 hours that it takes to beat it and then go back to living my life.
It's not going to take 5 hours because then you're going to have to complete it with every single character and get every stamp and sticker.
Get the Champions Road. That's the one thing I don't like about 3D World is how you get the Champions Road. It's such a pain.
A 3D World. Well, no, you can get to Champions World with without that, you don't have to like 100% to get to Champions
I thought
World.
you
It's
did. I
just,
thought you had to have all the green stars, all of gold flags,
I think it's just stars and gold flags, but
not
not with every
stamps.
character.
I don't
No,
know.
it's,
I
I
do
don't
want to go
know.
back. I so that was a game that I went back to when the movie came out, when Super Mario Bros. The movie came out, and I
Mhm.
had a lot of fun. And I didn't make content about it. I just played Mario, and maybe
Yeah.
that's what I have to do. Maybe I just have to find games that I just enjoy, like Mario, Zelda. I still need to beat that.
I was going to ask you about it.
I I've been playing Pikmin,
Hmm.
the original Pikmin, and
Hmm.
that's been really nice. I love that game.
It's a challenge, right?
Yeah, I'm only on day like 5 or 6.
Okay.
I've been trying to. I don't know. I don't know if this is good strategy. This is tangent about Pikmin, but I want everybody to buy Pikmin 4. So in the original Pikmin, there's a strict time limit of 30 in-game days,
Hmm.
and you need to get 30 pieces of the ship. So I'm trying to get 2 pieces a day.
Oh, jeez.
I've done it all but one day.
Oh, okay. That's good.
I think, well, you know, this is like it's like a job for me now. Like I have tasks that I need to complete. I
Uh-huh.
got the day that I didn't get, I think maybe 2 days I didn't get 2 pieces. They were the days that I got the yellow Pikmin and I got the blue Pikmin. So I did complete 2 different tasks and got those underway. But Pikmin is a great game to just, the days aren't long.
Hmm.
So you could just sit down and play a day for like 10 minutes and then go about your day. And I haven't made any content about it.
Yeah. So for me, like I know that streaming is difficult for me because I do like to stream and I like to catch up with uh, just the community that joins the stream. But I'm always trying to figure out what games do you play? What games do you talk about? Do you, cuz like Tears of the Kingdom, for example, I'm not gonna stream that. I'm gonna experience that on my own time. Like I don't want to have a chat. I don't want to have the pressure of people watching me try to complete quests or even backseat gaming. You know, that's a thing. Um, and I just kind of want to experience it on my own. But then by doing that, you are pushing yourself out of that area of content of people that are talking about Tears of the Kingdom. And so like you can make content on the side, but when it comes to streaming, you and I both know it's the game that like you play regularly or that's like your main game that you're going to get viewers and it's possible to get viewers if you're a variety streamer, but it is more difficult. So do you play the games that people are currently talking about? Because the other part of that is like, say, I'm gonna stream Mario Brothers Wonder, which I don't think I'm going to, but there's gonna be bigger names that are gonna be streaming that game, and so people are gonna want to go see their reaction to it. So it's just when it comes to that area of social media and just getting eyeballs on your content, that's where I struggle with.
Yeah, and I kind of stopped streaming for the most part. I streamed making a bingo card for the Nintendo Direct,
Mm-hmm.
and that was fun. Like I didn't that was the chat was helping me out. We had a good time. But yeah, I've kind of got to a place where I know if I streamed Tears of the Kingdom as soon as it released, nobody was going to watch because they're either playing themselves
Mm-hmm.
or watching some other big name.
Right.
And that's what sucks about being a content creator in social media is, well, for us specifically, is there's always people bigger than us.
Mm-hmm.
And like they might have early access to the game or they might be able to get a video out because that's what they do as their full-time job. And like, we're always kind of behind the curve trying to catch up to them. And it's very disheartening, and that's what causes people to burn out.
Yeah, I can see that. I think nowadays, though, it's probably easier to get your content out at any time, just because that's how the algorithm works. It's not that you made something at 4 o'clock and only the people at 4 o'clock are going to see your content. It's if the algorithm pushes that video out to the people that have been watching Tears of the Kingdom, or like whatever it is that they're interested in.
Yeah, but I do think there are times where it is beneficial to have the first content out there. Like, I do reactions to Nintendo Directs. I don't stream them because I want to get that reaction out as soon as possible. And it's kind of ridiculous. It's interesting to see. Like, if I would post a reaction right at the time of the Direct, it gets substantially more views than if I waited later in the day.
Do you think that's because there's people that aren't watching the Direct and they just stumbled across?
I think people just want to see reactions.
Even while they're watching the Direct, or they click out of the Direct and... Interesting.
Yeah, I think reaction content's weird. And even like, there's a lot of games that have like early access that only specific creators have access to, and they always get a ton of views because of that.
Yeah.
So I think that, I'm hoping when the new Nintendo console comes out, I could get in early enough that it will boost my content up to the front, and I'm one of the more known Nintendo creators at that point.
Well, yeah, and even if there are bigger names that are going to be covering it, you've been doing this for a while now. So it's not like you're starting all over or you're playing catch up. It's just you've been in the game. And that's kind of what I think is fun about social media in general for me, is that it's like it's a game in itself. Like, you have to figure out what works, what doesn't. If you are commenting back, or it's all just trial and error, which is what we do when we're playing a game.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like the content creation side of it is a different experience than just people using social media to learn about
consuming
games. Yeah, about consuming. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like the consuming part of it is, it is what you make it.
Mm-hmm.
Like we said, you could go down that path where it's more negative and you get involved in more of the fanboy discussions or
fan people
discussions. It is toxic. Like, the internet is toxic. There's no getting around it.
Mm-hmm.
I've been doing this long enough to it doesn't really faze me, except for that one time where I said story in games. There's no good stories in any games, and people were not nice to me.
I mean, that's not the only time that people haven't been nice to you.
Yeah, there was one time that was that I almost quit because it got so bad.
Oh, I didn't know that. You were gonna quit?
Yeah, because I said that
Well, you don't have to say it.
No, it's fine. I don't care, because I don't care anymore. But I said we could all agree that piracy is bad, right? Because people got on my case. I said something about emulating, and they got mad at me. And then I said we could all agree like piracy is wrong, right? And this was back when Metroid Dread was happening, and everybody was saying, "Oh, just here's how you emulate it. Here's how you pirate it." And man, that went viral in the wrong way. The amount of stitches I got, stitches meaning through TikTok, not like
not
physical,
like people.
not physical, not physical stitches. And this was like probably like a year into TikTok for me, so I wasn't. This is the first time that I really got bombarded with all this negativity,
Mm-hmm.
And now I see it happening to other people where they just get, what do they call it? Mob mentality. Just get mobbed on. And I feel bad for them. Like it's now there are times where I think people do need to be corrected and they need to be called out. But for something like piracy is bad, which, like, why do people get so upset about that?
And like you bring up a good point of just community. I think that is the biggest thing that you and I have found on social media is just finding people that we talk to regularly or we like to interact with, or even just on this podcast, we have found community. And so you are going to have people that are in your corner. I don't know if you did at that time.
No, I did. I did. It was, I don't blame them for doing this because they don't want to get the heat, but they would send me DMs and be like, I understand what you're saying. And I'm like, yeah, you won't say it publicly because you don't want to get destroyed, but I'll take the heat. So I took a lot of blows back then, and I'm not that careful with what I say, but like I kind of know not to say that again.
Mm-hmm.
And people still, this was 2 years ago, I would say 2 years ago, and people still comment about it.
Yeah, like that's how they know you.
That's how they know me. Even
right.
like on our TikTok, like on the Communication Era TikTok, they're the one, I forget, I think it was the one about the story, and somebody said, "Oh, this is a guy that has horrible takes. He's the one that was like anti-piracy or something." I'm like, man, get over it. But that is another pro about the internet, about social media. It will blow over. It will blow over. Mm-hmm. There will be something else.
Yeah, what's the latest thing that people are talking about?
Exactly. So if you're in a spot where like I was, or and you're just getting bombarded with negativity, just step back. It will blow over. Somebody else will do something and they'll go after them. So it's I think social media has done more good to bring people together than pull people apart. But it's outside of the gaming space, there's a lot of things that I think are hard. It's horrible right now in just the world.
Mm-hmm. Well, so yeah, like I've talked to a lot of family members about social media and how they view it. For me, it's been a pretty positive experience. And I think it's just because like negativity is loud, but positivity stays. It's stronger. So yeah, there's always going to be people that are talking about the latest thing. Like right now, what would that be? Starfield, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe not having a disc, or it does have a disc. We don't
know.
Yeah,
we don't know. I'm not taking that video down. We got a comment saying that we should take the video down.
It might have been debunked, but
maybe. I don't know. There was no official response. So
yeah, somebody's not communicating and maybe needs to listen to our podcast.
Yeah, I think, Starfield, that, we had Summer Game Fest and the Xbox Showcase, so everybody was talking about those for a while. And, when a new game comes out, when Starfield comes out, it's going to kick back up. But other than that, I don't know what else people are really upset about. Oh, I know what it is. It's the Xbox hearing.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, is that, it's a lot of Starfield right now. Phil Spencer saying that it's irresponsibly big.
I didn't see they said that.
Oh, yeah. Which, I don't know, is that a good selling point? Maybe. Saying that, like, how big the game is, but then that sounds like your developers went through hell. I don't know. People talking about if Wonder is just the same art style.
Oh, yeah.
New Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's always going to be discourse, and I will say there's people online that love discourse and whatever the latest thing is. There's going to be people that are talking about it, and it gets annoying. Like, maybe you like hearing what they have to say, or they just know that that's the latest thing, and they're going to get their name out there and try to get, clicks. They're doing it for clout.
Yeah. The internet, the social media can be a blast. Mm-hmm. And I think Tears of the Kingdom is a good example of that.
Yeah. Animal Crossing is a good example of that.
What? Yeah, Animal Crossing is another good example of that. But, when a community comes together like it did for Tears of the Kingdom and sacrificing Koroks or making like X-Wings and TIE fighters, like, it's so fun to be part of that. And if there was no social media, we would have that at home and maybe with our friend group, but seeing all of the imaginative things that people do,
yeah,
it's just phenomenal. And
how creative people are, and like Super Mario Maker, and all the levels that people can make is crazy.
Yeah, like, and even
go ahead.
With Super Mario Maker, with the Super Mario Bros. Movie, somebody made the level from the movie.
You're right.
Like right away. I'm like, that's so cool. I would have never thought of that.
Yeah.
And Animal Crossing is another good example. That came out at a horrible time.
Yeah.
The world was on fire, and people just came together for this adorable little simulation game.
Here's my hot take. I think Animal Crossing should have won Game of the Year that year. Was it as good as Last of Us Part 2? Absolutely not. But it brought people together, and that is exactly what we needed at that time. There wasn't a game that I think had a bigger impact that year than Animal Crossing.
I agree with that. Did it win Games for Impact or anything?
I don't think so.
I think that's a different type of impact.
Maybe one family.
Oh yeah, but I agree.
Which is not like really a big family game, but I guess if you're connecting cartoony through different switches and online, but the online's awful. So anyway, what were you saying?
Yeah, no, I think I do remember people talking about that. Was it nominated
for Game of the Year?
Game of the Year,
it was.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it was something that we needed, and something that we didn't know that we needed at that time. But I could go on about this all day. We're almost at an hour. I do have a final thought about this one.
Okay.
Without social media, there would be no John Ebo. And that sounds like a terrible place.
It sounds like a terrible place if there wasn't a John Ebo.
Yeah. Yeah, if there was no John Ebo, that would be a horrible world to live in.
So leave your comments down below what a world without John Ebo would be. Would it be awful or would it be glorious?
Wow. I feel like you're trying to sway them to say that.
I mean, I don't. That's just my own opinion,
But we wouldn't have this podcast.
True.
The world, it would be such a different. I don't even know. There is a multiverse, so there is one out there that there is no social media.
I will say a nice thing right now. Without John Ebo, I wouldn't be on Nintendo Powercast. This wouldn't even be a thing. I wouldn't have met so many cool people because of N64 Josh and Crawler. Like, it really has helped in a lot of ways, and the people that you connect with. Social media can be a really good thing if you make it one. I think that's kind of what we've come down to.
Yeah, that's pretty much how all of these conversations have been going. Like, it is what you make it.
Mm-hmm. But it's okay
And
to like talk about it and,
yeah,
and
yeah,
see
yeah.
different points of views, because I am interested to see those that aren't in the content space, or are they even in the gaming circle? If they're listening to our podcast, I guess they probably are, or maybe they just don't consume news that much and they just know what games are coming out and that's all they need to know.
Yeah. I just thought of something
Mm-hmm.
pre-internet. Well, not pre-internet, pre-social media. I wanted Resident Evil 4 on the GameCube.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I had no idea when it was coming out. I would go to GameStop like every week to check if it was out. Like, that's so annoying.
Oh,
Like,
that's how you would figure it out, is go
that's
to
how,
GameStop.
yeah, that's how I would know. Like, how did people know? How did people know release dates?
Yeah, again, commercials, I think. But then there were some commercials, like I can't imagine Resident Evil having a commercial.
It probably did. They had the chainsaw controller.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I don't know. I just remember going like multiple times, asking every single time, like, when's Resident Evil coming out? And it got delayed.
Mm-hmm.
So, we don't have those tweets from all of the developers saying, sorry guys, we're gonna delay this.
Yeah, we didn't have just like a yellow background that's like, hey, we're sorry.
So I didn't, it probably got delayed like a year and a half, and the GameStop employee is like, what are you doing here? It's not coming out for another year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought I'd share that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think like pre-social media.
Yeah, that's an interesting time for sure.
But
so, I don't know. How do you want to end this? We didn't have a quote pulled up.
You're gonna go far, kid.